Hi guys, welcome along. This is a little bit of a different video. It's a bit of an unboxing. For no other particular reason apart from we've had quite a few deliveries in the last couple of days. And some of the products are quite exciting to talk about. Some are replacements and some are genuinely brand new products. So I've got myself a cup of tea. Grab yourself one and we'll get into this as we unbox some new products. So the first one I want to start off with is just in front of me here, brand new, just come out of the box, come out of the bag, and it is the hard case, and this version is the TB25 from Fluke, and it is designed to be, one for a better word, a portable test equipment and tool caddy to assist with all of the Fluke equipment that you guys need to carry around. We carry quite a bit of Fluke equipment, and it is something that appealed to us when we saw it advertised. So we thought we'd purchase one. Not overly expensive. Everything you're going to see today we have purchased at full price. Nothing's been given to us at discount. Nothing's been given to us free of charge for video purposes. This is solely our own purchases that we just wanted to share with you guys. So going into this, getting rid of some of the... Actually, that's quite sturdy. If you've got one of the Fluke cases, rucksacks, we've got one with our Solar SMFT 1000. We've got the Pro kit, comes in the rucksack. It's got a similar base to this one, hard base, which we find comes in really handy. Doesn't matter where you are, quick wipe off, absolutely good to go again. Some of the other ones have smaller sections on the bottom that can sink into the mud, get wet, get damp, get dirty. You start getting issues on the side pockets and things like that where the material gets dirt. These Fluke ones, it's a good 60 to 70 mil hard case on the bottom, and that does seem to cause no issues with us whatsoever. Inside, cable tied inside to what appears to be some very good straps. Small little insert pocket inside there. So you've got your carry handle and you've got your shoulder strap all included inside there. Yeah, pretty decent looking, hard wearing, rugged. 27 pockets apparently, which is going to really upset the other half because that means I've got to buy 27 tools to put in it. Because currently, I'm not sure I'm going to fill this, but I'm sure we'll give it a go. Anyway, that's the TB25. I'll put links for all this stuff downstairs underneath the video, as a lot of this is brand new to the range, I suppose you could call it. But the good thing is at the moment there is some promotions. We'll be getting into that a little bit later on as we proceed. So absolutely love this meter. I've had one for, I don't know, 10 years. It's the Fluke 117. Admittedly, I did buy the wrong version. So this is the 117 true RMS meter. I love this. Pretty much does everything from AC to DC. The one thing I do love about this is it has the capacity for the T-Pack system. And it also has the volt detect. So they call it volt alert. So as the meter gets closer to anything that is actually physically live, principally works the same as a volt stick and will detect that there is live cables in the vicinity of the tester. Do find that comes in very, very handy. The version I used to have, I bought as a package. So it was the 117, the carry case, the test leads, and the T-Pack. And the T-Pack comes in invaluable, just being able to latch it straight onto the consumer units, the fuse boards, whatever you are near, it'll always have something magnetic. Takes away the need to hold the tester. Two hands, free for testing purposes, make sure it's a lot more safer. This version is just the standard 117 kit. Comes with the Fluke leads in the back, and apart from that, it's a very good meter. I'm not entirely sure if this will... Oh yeah, no, it's not completely sealed. The one thing with Fluke is the world's thickest manuals for every single product. I don't think I've ever been able to read a Fluke manual from front to back without losing the will to live, one, and two, forgetting what I first started telling me at the start. There is so much stuff that comes with this. So 117 out of its box. Let's get rid of all the rubbish. She'll tidy that up later. Some nice, very good quality leads actually. On the last version, we found that the leads they didn't feel the greatest, but they tied them together well. They also didn't feel like they had much length, and these are a good 1.5 meters in length. They have the removable caps, so I don't know if you'll be able to see that very clearly. Removable cap that comes off just to get a little bit deeper, but obviously for safety reasons, protective caps that go on the end. And as I said, we did order the wrong one, so the 117 would have come in a case. Nice little black fluke padded case, kept the device absolutely bulletproof. Little stand on the back just to hold it up on the desktops, and as I said, T-pack system that clips into the top here, little quick release that allows mounting onto anything magnetic. So anything that's metallic in the nearby, within 1 meter of you being either where you're testing, it will literally hands-free and makes life a lot easier. Talking about the T-pack, we'll pop that down over there for a second. I have gone onto a online reseller because nobody could get us a T-pack system quickly. So what we did do is we kind of did a bit of internet research and bought ourselves a 7-piece multi-meter hanging strap kit. I'll be honest, it comes in Lego form, no instructions and 1 million components. Well, I say 1 million, I'm guessing by the fact that it's a 7-piece. And yeah, straight in, quick release on the back, pull straight out. Yeah, can't complain with that. And then the Velcro attachment, that just folds straight into that. Yeah, pretty decent. The T-pack that I loved, and the version that I loved, is very similar to this piece that I've just collected now out of the packet, and that is this small adjustable, that magnetic piece there. Oh, absolutely loved it. Didn't actually, out of all the stuff that we use, you tend to find that a lot of the stuff attracts and just collaborates on multiple bits of swarf and everything like that. And I had my original T-pack for, I want to say 8 years, and it was still going strong when, I'll be honest with you, I've left it at a customer's house somewhere. No idea where it is, no idea where it's gone. But yeah, effectively the T-pack in its greatest form is magnetic attachment just for hanging the device, hands-free testing, for being inside the board, testing batteries, doing whatever you need to do with your AC DC multi-range true RMS multimeter. Absolutely love this thing. Since I lost it 4 or 5 weeks ago, I won't lie, I've been completely lost without having that little buddy in the box just for doing testing, proving frequencies, and it does everything you want it to do just there in that little kind of component. Did buy a hard case, not gonna lie to you, we're not gonna bother to unpack that. I've just taken it out of the box. It looks horrendous. It was on the cheapish side. It's one of these where you've got a sort of a molded foam that you can just pick out and it will then sit around the tester. Gotta be honest, rather than take that out of the packet and embarrass myself in the customer's house, it'll go in a pocket on the TB25, and that TB25 is going to be my new little tote that I take everywhere by the looks of it, because I'm absolutely in love with that. So on to the next parts. I'm going to leave the really exciting bit to the end, but this one, this is going to take some getting out of the box. So this is as it's come to us. This is the delivery packaging. But inside, something very nice. The box, the box itself is absolutely huge, and yeah, this thing is again, true to Fluke, absolutely covered in spiel. The packaging, pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, I currently can't seem to find a joint, so what we're going to try and do is slide it out of this if we can. Oh, yep, there we go. I don't know if you've seen this, but I saw the other day on a social media platform, somebody's actually made a cake with one of these devices. It's the newer model with the full touchscreen colour screen. We, as a company, with everything else that we're doing, we kind of are progressing with technology. However, we still like to do what we like to do with certain bits of equipment. So we're not overly keen on going for the brand spanking new stuff. So let's have a look, see what's inside of this. I do like that. So the latch on the side of this case has actually got the capacity for a padlock. That's quite a funky little feature. The original Fluke cases were just the latching lids with the pop-up tops that had the capacity to store all of the adapters and things for your test equipment. Don't know what's going on in here yet, but that single latch on the side with the hinge on the other does seem to be quite a good improvement, especially with things like tool theft and stuff at the moment. Okay, so no lid storage per se. And again, true to form, instead of the internal storage in the lid, we do have, one for a better word, a tote tray. That sits very nicely. A little bit loose with inside the external, but it's acceptable for the fact that you've got this little tray that you can take everywhere with you. And yeah, so we've got a bag of leads, the 166X leads, which I'm guessing is the standard series range of leads. So from the outside of the packet, you've got the red, the green, the blue, you've got the probes, and then you've got the crocodile clips for all of those leads, just for doing your standard testing. And there's a bit of gump inside there that's sort of giving you your category 1, 2 and 4 conformity paperwork, voltage paperwork, etc, etc. Won't open that because that's something I like to do separate. Oh, this is new, never got one of these before, so I do like this. So as it's a brand new device, one of the things we've always struggled with is when we've had to verify our calibration on our equipment is generically a calibration certificate is the only thing that most contractors, anybody really within the industry will accept as a valid form of a document. Never got one of these before. This is a Fluke certificate of calibration that's come internally inside the box of the new device. And you'll be able to see on the back, I don't know whether you can read that, there's nothing really exciting to read. It's all the readings that you would expect to get from a calibration certificate, but it's product verification test data, and the date on there actually provides us with, one for a better word, a physical calibration certificate, whereas before we had to kind of allow the customer to see the invoice. So the proof of purchase was our first 12 months, a bit like when you buy a car and you have that kind of couple of years where the car doesn't need an MOT. Similarly, with a brand new product that you purchase test equipment wise, doesn't need a calibration within the first 12 months as long as you can prove that it is within the first 12 months. That's a good little touch, Fluke. I'm really impressed with that. That is one of the worst things that we've had to experience over the first 12 months of any new test equipment. So, in true to form, 13 amp plug top to the adapter, plug straight into the top, allowing you to do varying tests at the sockets. I know a lot of people now are doing R1, R2 tests with multifunction testers at socket outlets. This also allows for earth fault loop impedance and things like that, RCD tests obviously, and everything else that you guys kind of need to do with test equipment. As always, and I do like this, you get your batteries. Batteries are the biggest pain in an electrician's life. every time you want to use your tester, if the apprentice hasn't turned it off and the tester doesn't have the auto off function, you then need batteries. And it's always at the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes of a job. So I do like the fact, and they are good quality Duracell batteries, and they've obviously supplied exactly the right amount for the amount you need for the tester itself. And then Old Faithful. This one has always been a favourite little bit of kit of mine. It's the test button that you can use instead of your standard phase lead. Using this on the phase conductor within the tester, it gives you the ability to press and test on the test function button there, and it doesn't matter what your machine is plugged into and regarding what setting it's on. If you press the test, it carries out that test, providing obviously the machine itself is happy that it's got all the relevant leads on the right parts of the installation. And then another one of these. So if you're not au fait with one of these are little latching. This quite a little cool little tool actually. So it's what they refer to as a zeroing adapter, and they come now as standard by the looks of it. We got one of these with our SMFT 1000, and the zeroing adapter does come in really handy. And so it looks like they've supplied one as standard now with this tester. So that tray is now empty, and we'll go through in more detail at a later date all the other bits and pieces. Going green. Join us in helping the environment by choosing paperless options. So on the back there, you'll see straight away there's a little card explaining how to use the Zero adapter in their quick reference guide. But this little bit now is saying we won't supply you with manuals. I remember a conversation a couple of minutes ago where I showed you the thickest manual in the world for a small little multimeter. I think the manual's bigger than the meter. Now what they're saying is, as they're trying to do their bit for the environment, QR code scans, and you can download manuals and software instead of them having to supply it. But what I believe is going to be in this little packet here is going to be all of the quick reference guides, similarly to the one that's in the packet that you can see there. There's going to be quick start guides of what leads are needed to use on what type of test, etc. Again, there'll be product information, all the test leads, I believe, looking at what I've seen briefly as we've been passing through. All the test leads are rated to a minimum of 1,000, if not 1,500 volts AC. That is important. And then we come to the main event within this box, and it's the 1664 FC multifunction tester. Now, it looks like it's absolutely beaten to hell. I won't lie to you. Doesn't look like there's much here that is brand spanking new. Quite a bit of damage on the outside of the cabinet case there. Quite disappointing considering the price of this. So conversations will be had regarding the quality of the equipment that has arrived. On the bottom of the flukes, this is always quite handy, a little test table here, giving you some information about what voltages, what tests, etc. are. And it's quite handy as a little quick reference on the bottom of the tester. Standard 2 little holes for your strap, which I can see is inside the box. Standard fluke protection on the screen. The reason we went for this one is the phase rotation and the fact that we have heavily invested in the True Test software. Obviously the SMFT does that, and obviously we download all our test results. We wanted a tester that worked with that software that also had the capacity to do phase rotation, because with a lot of the installations we work on, phase rotation testing, although it's not a crucial part of it, it does always give you that little bit of peace of mind if you've got an incoming set of tails and you're not entirely convinced that it is the right way around. You can prove it so that you don't have issues with motors and all the other things. And especially now we start getting into renewables and three-phase inverters and everything else, the last thing you want is issues because the phase rotation's wrong. So we do always insist on a phase rotation tester. All of our MFTs will include phase rotation. Otherwise we just don't have any need to carry a multifunction tester, in our opinion, as a company. So yeah, it's also got the FC. So if you're not familiar, the FC is the Fluke Connect software. So that allows you to Bluetooth it to your phone. So you can do remote tests and stuff like that. But the main thing for us with this one was the actual compatibility with the True Test software. That is going back in its box. It's got a kind of a, it's molded by the looks of it. So in the bottom, it's got a molded to the case bit of polystyrene. You know, it does its job. That tester is actually fairly secure in there. And then the old faithful, they sometimes look like horse riding saddle straps and harnesses for the younger viewers, so that we don't have to get a little bit age appropriate. But the one thing that always does make me smile is they have great pride in their brand. So their brand is always very well protected on all of the external parts. It's on everything that has the badge. Everything that has a badge on it has protection. It is a quirky little thing that Fluke do. I'm not entirely sure that I've seen anybody else do this. It's, I think, unique to Fluke. Obviously, with regards to other bits of equipment that are thousands of pounds worth of inverters, batteries and things like that, there's obviously going to be protection. But the quirkiness of the Fluke badge and the fact that they emphasise their pride in their registered trademark, I guess, it does go to show that there is pride right the way through. So yeah, so that's the F. I'll put my teeth in. That is the 1664 FC, and that obviously is compatible with our True Test software. So, last box that I'm going to open today. Really frustratingly, we have ended up splitting this into two videos. The camera decided to stop after about 25 minutes. So hopefully that doesn't sort of horrendously impact the continuity and fluidness of the video. I've had to get the scissors out because this one actually needs to be opened. And I'm just carefully, very carefully, tenderly opening this box. And you'll see why I'm being very tender with it shortly. But I'm also conscious that I'm on video. I'm here on my own. And whilst trying to open a box, the last thing I want to do is have to ring an ambulance because I've cut my hand open whilst trying to open a bit of cardboard and a sellotaped lid. So, what we have here is a blank piece of cardboard inside the packaging. I don't think it's going to tell me much once I get it out of the box. So what I am going to do is I am going to show you what the box says it is before we unbox it. And it's this. This is the FEV 350 electric vehicle charging station test analyzer. We've been very excited and we've been waiting for this for a long time. So another box over there. I want to put it in the recycling, but at the same time I don't. I kind of feel there's value to the boxes and everything like that. But it looks like I got myself a brand new lunchbox with Fluke written on it, because I'm not entirely sure whether or not this is going to be yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether this is going to be long enough to go over my arms and not be stuck under my armpit. I'm not going to lie to you. This could potentially be coming out and going into the TB25. Oh, that's quite ingenious little removable pouch. It is on the side of the box. And when you pop it on, there's a little Velcro attachment that holds that in place. On both sides of the case, on both the extremities. The front has another pouch. There is pouches and pockets everywhere with Fluke cases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow. So 5 on the main section there for elasticated restraints for tools, etc. And on the front of the lid, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 available on the front. Obviously slightly smaller. Got to be honest, I'm not sure whether you get screwdriver sets in there. And I don't know why you would need 17 pencils and pens with you to do something that's going to analyse and record automatically and then dump the data into the software. But we haven't got in there yet. What looks to be, the only way I can explain this, and this is the internal back strap of the bag. I call this the suitcase slot, because this always does tend to sit nicely over the handles on the carry cases that pull out for aeroplane trips. And I only ever find that that's the only other thing I can think of that is a benefit for. Quite why I'd want to be taking this with me suitcase, because when I'm taking my suitcase, I'm a Arrivederci in. But yeah, oh, here we go. And here is the Fluke manuals. So, there is 2 versions of this. There's the 150 and the 350. We went with the 350. No particular reason, if I'm being honest. There was no great benefit. There was no great difference in what we could see was a pro and a con to us as a business. We just decided that the 350 was the one we liked the most. A little bit more functionality. Looking at the photos on the front here, it does look like the 150 is actually restricted to single phase testing. The 350 is single and 3 phase. Wasn't aware of that. No implication in regards to our decision making there. But yeah, it wasn't a factor for us. So there's a couple of bits and pieces inside the manual, usual thing, symbol descriptions, specifications, Bluetooth sort of information. Nothing of any great consequence in this book. 3 or 4 pages, and it's basically the safety information in that one. So that one's not too bad. A lot of this is the lads on the toilet reading. Oh, and ironically, it comes with a tea pack. So my Wamazon order that I said about earlier on, I think it was about £8. It will do the job, but you can't go wrong with the official tea pack. And that's what comes in this little seal bag. So that's superb. You then get, oh, so then you get the FLK Zero adapter Type 2. Oh, that's quite nice. So this, let me swing this around and show you. This video has gone on a little bit longer than I expected, but so there you go. It is a zeroing adapter for the TY2. Very nicely boxed. I'm not entirely sure how to get this out. Oh, yeah, okay. So on the back you'll see all the pins from a standard Type 2 EV car charger with a zeroing pin at the top. I can imagine, knowing Fluke, that A, this has got quite a good reference point, as in it's a nice little bit to have, but it also does look, it's really solid. It looks quite expensive. I don't know what this would have been to purchase separately. I'm sure there's going to be options online. It comes out of the box. It's quite a tight snug in the bag, I won't lie, but in the end pouch, T-pack, zeroing, and then 2 sections. Oh my god, this thing is massive. Right, so what we have here is the FEV 300 connection Type 2 TY2, the Type 2 plug to the International Fluke multi-pin. That's quite a nice little touch. So that's very similar to a steel wire dust cover, and then your standard Type 2. That feels really robust. I'll be honest, as a plug for a Type 2 EV charger, there is serial numbers and all that sort of stuff on there, so I'll have to make sure I register everything before you lot see this video. But as a physical plug that we're used to having our hands on every single day doing EV car charger installs, this feels probably like the most robust one I've had the pleasure of having my hands on most recently. Then we've got a 7-pin plug with a locator. I'll just pop that down there a second, and then the main event. Oh, she's a shiny T-pack adapter in the top, 7-pin locating male and female on the lead. It has got the locator on it. There is batteries in it. So the FEV 350 charge station analyzer, and it does have batteries in there. And yeah, it's just come straight to life. This is going to take some serious reading. So you can do a manual CP test. For those in the know, CP testing and all those other kind of things are pretty standard now. We did our NIC EIC annual assessment not last year, the year before, and we had to do an EV car charger as part of the 3 things that we were showing them on quality of work, etc., and general workmanship. And one of the things that they asked us was about how do you do the CP and the PP pin tests. And at the time, the only way to do it was with a multimeter and testing the resistance. So as long as you knew what the resistance was meant to be, you could test and validate that information. Now it looks like everything is available through the analyzer. This is a beast of a unit. You know, that's 2 hands around it, and yeah, this is a beast. Not entirely sure what software version we need compared to what software version is on there. Again, no manuals, so they're obviously available online. The one thing I did find with the Solar MFT 1000 was when you actually switch the machine on, inside the machine, every test you want to do, if you press the info button, it shows you with a physical diagram what to do, where to connect the leads, and obviously what setting you are meant to be in to get the relevant test result for that part of it. I would imagine something similar is going to happen within the 350, but again, we'll have to get it plugged into the software. Make sure that the firmware is up to date to start with, because obviously everything here will probably need firmware updates. The update that we'll do for another video after this will be the physicality of using this device. We have an EV charger fitted at home here, so I'll be able to do all that for you. So over the next couple of hours, I'm going to sit down in front of the machines, get them plugged in, get them linked to the true test. We'll get the software, firmware and everything else updated, get all the manuals we need to do, and then we'll be back once we've packed all the unboxing mess away. We'll be back with some videos showing you the functionality of these devices. So that'll be part 2. So we shall see you guys at the next video.